So, folks who watch Newsmax know that I am totally outraged, as we all are really, about what President Trump is going through. These cases, they are a crime. These are crimes that they are waging against Donald Trump. This is criminal activity, putting this man in court. These cases, well, there's nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. It's amazing. And I hate that he's going through this. I hate that he's off the campaign trail. But at the same time, spectacular things are happening. And, well, I had to go there and see it myself. I went to the court today. I was actually in the courtroom. That's me outside the courthouse. I just had to kind of try to prove that I was there in some way. You can't take pictures once you're inside the court. I'm glad I went. Again, I wish I didn't have to, but I had to see it for myself. So you get into the courtroom after going through multiple layers of security, which is totally appropriate. It's kind of laid out like a, well, you've all seen a courtroom, right? Kind of like a church in a way. And I'm sitting there waiting for it to all start, about an hour, and just kind of minding my business and looking at my internet, and the prosecution comes in. All 17 of them, it seemed like. Not only these people, but all kinds of paralegals and technicians, that these employees of the government, they work for us. They're spending this kind of money on false records, allegedly. It's crazy. It's corrupt. It's wrong. Now, they came in from the front of the court, kind of like, where the, I guess, if this were a church, it would be the altar. They'd come in from the far left corner. Now, as for the defense, Donald Trump and his team, they come from the back. And almost like, a wedding, when they come in from the back of the church, I did what kind of came natural. The President of the United States, a former President of the United States, walks into the room. I stood up instinctively. I was the only one. You don't do that. Certainly nobody in the fake news was going to stand. And apparently it's policy. I was told right away to sit down by several court officers. I don't fault them. That's the policy. I sat down, but I did say hello to President Trump, and he said hello back. And the fake news, well, they noted it. Newsmax host Greg Kelly stood and flashed a thumbs up when Trump first entered earlier in the day. Look, I wanted to see this stuff, but I also was there to support him. And they also noted, these people keep their eye on everything, especially when it comes to conservative media. They think this is negative. I actually like it. As he exited the courtroom for a quick morning break, Trump pointed to Newsmax host Greg Kelly, who stood and flashed a thumbs up. I got to do it. And it was a privilege actually to be there. So, also, very, very interesting. I know now more than ever before that Stormy Daniels is a total and complete liar. Now, here she is back in her heyday. This is what she looked like in court. And quite frankly, the court artist is being a little bit generous. Yeah, sorry, but it's been a rough time for her in that business, and it is a tough business. I'm sorry, but, she looked a little bit dirty, almost unwashed. I hate to say it, but it was kind of pathetic. I felt sorry for her at times, but then when I heard the lies, I lost the sympathy. The jury, I want to talk about the jury for a moment. Look, a couple of things. What can you tell? They're sitting there. The artists don't show their faces, and we understand that. They walk in right by the defense table. Not one of them looked at President Trump. I was a little bit surprised. I was a lot surprised by that, actually, and concerned. I mean, you can still be cordial, right? Apparently, it is an unwritten rule in the court system that the jurors are not supposed to look at the defendant as they come in the morning. Still, at first, I couldn't see if they acknowledged the prosecution, but they walked right by him. Also, they were all casually dressed, very casually dressed. Donald Trump is wearing a tie. His lawyers are wearing coat and tie. The prosecution, the judge, they came in like they were going to a baseball game. I don't know. What does it mean? Probably nothing, but let me talk about the makeup of the jury in terms of ethnicity and race. Normally, I don't focus on those things. You don't focus on those things, but everybody in New York sure does. And I know the prosecutors, when they were picking this jury, oh yeah. You think they were going to go to this length and just pick random jurors? I'm sure they're random in a sense, but anyway, mostly white people, one Asian man, one black woman, no black males. I don't know why that is. You know, Donald Trump is surging with black men. I don't know. Are they fearful that a black man might see through this farce right away? I don't know. I do know that they factor that in when they are screening jurors. Absolutely they do. We'll see. Susan Necklace was the chief defense attorney today, and I thought she was awesome. All right, here's what she looks like normally, and here's what she looks like in sketch form. And she cross-examined Stormy Daniels again. Remember, she, of course, is the woman who alleged a sexual encounter with Donald Trump back in 2006. Now, I always kind of thought, I had a hunch that, no, that didn't happen. And the more I learned about her and the more I learned about the circumstances, I'm like, that didn't happen. Now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I know she did not have the encounter she describes with Donald Trump. There was no sexual encounter. I'll get to that in a moment. First, some interesting things I did learn as I sat there and took it all in about Stormy Daniels. The defense attorney brought out some very interesting facts about Stormy. Number one, on her book that she wrote about Donald Trump, she made $800,000 for that. Full disclosure, right? She made $200,000 for a reality show called The Surreal Life, $125,000 for a documentary called Stormy. It also emerged that she had a relationship with one of the photographers on the movie while she was married. It just came out. Anyway, what does it mean? It's just there. It came out today. What else did I learn about Stormy? Did you know that she had a comic book? Yeah, a comic book, Stormy Daniels. Also that she had a tour where she totally highlighted that she allegedly had this encounter with President Trump, stripping all over the country. Stormy Daniels, Make America Horny Again. These are all profit-making endeavors that she had as a result of her alleged hookup with Donald Trump. It all comes back to Trump. Let's see. We have this indictment candle. All right. They call her the patron saint of indictments. This is merchandise that she is selling and making money from. The candle goes for $40. She grumbled during court that she only got $7 per candle. This is another poster from her Stripping Across America tour. You know, the woman who was with Donald Trump. She says, oh, I had nothing to do with the marketing. Well, all right. What else did I see today that was interesting? Stormy Daniels talks to dead people. Yeah, she has a business where she says she can, like Whoopi Goldberg or like that kid in, what was it, The Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis, talking to dead people. She says she can do that, and she charges people for money. Let's see, what else? Her boyfriend said she was crazy. Her boyfriend, according to the boyfriend, and we heard this during cross-examination, said she's crazy. It was objected to immediately. Now, I thought this was very revealing. Now, she had a couple of comebacks, you know, like, you made a lot of money off of this indictment, didn't you? And she said, like, well, so did Donald Trump. The fake news swooned. They thought, aha, wow, Stormy is in control. She's a hero. She is standing her ground. Really wasn't like that at all, all right? Stormy Daniels fights back. Well, I'm only, quite frankly, getting started because this is what she profited, how she profited. Now we catch her in a whole bunch of lies. The defense attorney, again, Necklace is her name, was amazing. So, Stormy and Trump in 2006, allegedly, this is what had happened. Now, it's fascinating to me that Stormy Daniels, she says she went to Donald Trump's penthouse in the Harrah's Hotel and remembers everything about that room. I mean, everything. Earlier this week, she testified, well, about just about every feature in that room, from the tile to the deep wood mahogany table, the flower arrangement, the type of door to get in. It was a double door. She saw Pert shampoo and Old Spice cologne, gold tweezers, and Stormy says she walked 2 blocks to get to the hotel and then got a ride from a friend for the rest of the way. A couple of things here. She remembers all of that from a hotel that she visited for 2 hours. Stormy, where did you stay? What hotel did you stay in? I don't remember. She did not remember the hotel that she stayed in. She knew everything about this other hotel. I told you a moment ago she had to walk for a couple of blocks, and then she got a ride from a friend to get from her hotel to Donald Trump's hotel. All right? Her hotel was the Harvey Hotel. Guess where that is in relation to the Harrah's Hotel? Across the street. Across the street. If you took an Uber, Uber might not pick you up because it's 255 feet, right? You can walk. You don't take a car for a trip like that. What else? I want to emphasize this. Today's date, what is it? May 9th, 2024. She told a significantly different version of what happened in 2006 today, and certainly different from, well, what she told Anderson Cooper. She was always delighted when she told this story, by the way. She was kind of like upfront and having fun. On Jimmy Fallon, she was also kind of, I don't know, having a sweet time about the whole thing. It didn't seem traumatic. You were making all kinds of jokes. She made a documentary more recently where she tried to say that this was all incredibly traumatic. All nonsense. So again, it's today, 2024. In 2011, she spoke to In Touch magazine. I only found out about this interview. I just missed it somehow. It was an extensive interview in 2011, and basically everything she said in 2011 contradicts what she's saying now and a lot of what she said in 2018. So in 2024, now, she said that to have this dinner with Trump, she was approached by Trump's bodyguard. Mr. Trump, this is the bodyguard she's talking about. Mr. Trump was interested in having me join him for dinner. And what did you say at that time? F no. And she didn't leave it at F. She said the word, F no. Now, in 2011, this is what she told In Touch magazine. He, Donald Trump himself, asked me if I wanted to have dinner that night, and I was like, yeah, of course. Who would pass up an opportunity to talk to someone so interesting? Wow. That is a major contradiction. That is a big hole in the story that you could drive an aircraft carrier through. And there's a ton of stuff like this. Next, she's been complaining on every show that she was invited to dinner. It was dinner time. I was hungry. Yeah, we talked about ordering food and we never got to eat. On all the shows, she was like, I never got to eat. However, in 2011, we ended up having dinner in the room. And she said, I don't remember what we ordered, but we had dinner. I think that's a big deal, actually. So in 2024, she's saying this about when she met Trump in 2006. He said, I thought we were getting somewhere. If you ever want to get out of that trailer park. Basically, I was offended because I never lived in a trailer park. And she's been saying that Donald Trump was somehow demeaning and, well, not very nice. But this is what she said in 2011, okay? I could tell he was nice, intelligent in conversation. She was, quite frankly, I don't know, kind of swooning over the guy. What else do we have here? Next, please. There was an imbalance of power for sure. Now, an imbalance of power. Where we heard that? I think it was invented by the Me Too movement. I mean, it has existed throughout history, but now we have a phrase for it. What was she saying in 2011 and 2018? And yeah, I had to make him my bitch. That was actually in her book. She was in charge, right? This is Stormy Daniels. I mean, she is a woman in charge. So all this stuff really, I think, blows up her story. A couple of more, if you don't mind. Oh, yeah, there's a lot to read here. Hold on a second. This is when, right after she goes to the bathroom, right? They've been talking for 2 hours, and then she comes out of the bathroom, and she says, she alleges that she sees Trump on the bed in his underwear and undershirt. I was just startled, like jump scare. I wasn't expecting someone to be there, especially minus a lot of clothing. That's when I had that moment where I felt the room spin in slow motion. I felt the blood basically leave my hands and my feet, and almost like if you stand up too fast and everything kind of spinned, that happened too. She was so shocked by all of this. Now, the defense attorney pointed out, you've been in 250 pornographic movies. You work with naked people for the past 25 years. Why did this shock you so much? Her answer made no sense. And in 2011, It was different. He was sitting on the bed, and we started kissing, all right?